despite all technical difficulties, despite StreamYard saying, fuck no, dude, we are here. We are live to episode 4, Core Confessionals, with me, your local favorite dipshit, Ian. And tonight is a very special night. I am so excited. I have not seen this chiseled, now adult, whole ass man since the last time I saw him ripping guitar in Paddock Park, experiencing the highs and lows of a cross country tour. Now a father, a husband, a Renaissance man, and one of those characters in your life where literally they are so frustratingly good at everything they pick up. And you just go, damn, dude, if I could just have a crumb of this man's talent. John Copeland, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, man. And thank you so much for having me. Even though StreamYard tried to give us the old kibosh, we pulled out the iPhone and we got it done the old fashioned way, man.
Yeah. You know, honestly, if it's one thing I've learned in recent history, especially kind of getting into the podcasting world, is at this point, it's all about the content, baby. If it's cell phone quality, fuck it.
Whatever, dude. It's here. That's all we got tonight. We tried our best.
So before we dive into everything, I also just want to put the perspective to any potential listener or watcher in tonight's episode. I have not seen this man since 2008, 2009.
Yes.
So there's probably going to be a lot of catching up, a lot of stories, because as I alluded to in our fun little intro, we went a whole ass country together.
We did. The whole thing.
The whole thing. Somehow we survived it. But before we get into all that, I want to kind of give you a chance to sort of set the stage of kind of not only who you are, just introduce yourself to the peoples, but then also your beginnings in the music. I want to hear that, because I think we were too busy just screaming "Pack Bull" at one another.
Pack Bull, dude.
Well, yeah, together. So, give us the genesis of John Copeland.
So I grew up in a small town in Central Florida called Ocala, and
L.A.
Oh God, yes, that place. So I grew up there pretty much my whole entire life, and my introductions into the music world, where my grandmother was the piano player for a Southern Baptist church for eons and eons, and I was basically at the church full time, hanging out with her, and you basically live at the church 5, 6, 7 days a week, and one day they didn't have a bass player for the church band. And I had been playing in the middle school band, playing trombone, tuba, all of the nerdiest instruments you can pick in middle school band. So, I knew how to read music, and we got there and she's like, "Hey, what's this note? What's this note? What's this note?" I'm like, "Okay, cool, music quiz." And she showed me the different increments on the fretboard. Oh, this is a half step. This is a whole step. Now do the math, and you're playing bass today.
And you're just like, what?
So it was basically, hold down the whole notes and just hope for the best. And, after that day, we didn't hang around for the Southern Baptist Church luncheon for the day. We took off to the local music store and rented a bass amp and a bass, and away we went.
Hell yeah. And how old were you during this?
When I first picked up the bass, I was 13.
So that's crazy. We have the same genesis, like,
right?
Because I knew you as a guitar player,
right?
Like an absolute fucking ripper. I started on bass at 13.
Sick.
So Yes, dude.
You
I knew
get
the
bored
vibes were
with
right.
4 strings, man, you need more, and nobody wants to hang out with the bass player, right? You gotta figure out how to play guitar.
Yeah, dude, we got to turn
Um,
that franchise around.
yeah, but man, when we went on the road, I had been playing for 6 years, like, that was it, and just kinda got thrown into that life, and that was a whole other insane story.
Well, so let's kind of meet that transition. So you're this sweet, innocent cherub playing bass in your grandma's church band, which like I feel like a lot of musicians I know, specifically out of Florida, like similar origins of Southern Baptists.
There's a lot of it.
There's
There's a lot
so
of it
much of
down
it.
there.
I love that. And so that tells me right off the rip, I'm like, okay, this makes sense of why, like, because I remember on tour, like, just like you picking up Sanders bass and kind of fucking around with it, or playing guitar, or hearing you sing like with a sweet, beautiful voice. I'm like, how does this guy have the cheat code? And I've noticed it's if you start real fucking early, kind of in those church band trenches, like you really hone the craft and you really like almost like train with like extra weights on.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the Southern Baptist aspect of that is, like, just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the musical ability that you gain from being involved with, like, a really, really tight worship team. And I did that for a long time. I graduated from, playing at the Southern Baptist Church to getting involved with the youth group. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they use distortion at this church. Like, how does this happen?
What?
The Southern Baptist would never, it's like this would never fly, skinny jeans. Like, how is this happening at church?
Hell yeah.
And so I was like, this is badass. Like, this is what I want to do. Screw the Southern Baptist Church. Like, I'm trying to be on that stage. So I hung around a youth group and I met with the worship leader, and he's like, yeah, we need a bass player. I'm like, all right, sweet. I guess, bass will do. So I try out, and he's like, you suck. Like,
Oh,
you're,
damn,
you're
dude.
so bad, dude. Like, no, like, go home and practice for a couple months and maybe we can talk about it. And that pissed me off, dude. Like, I had just come off the hottest gig of my life playing at, Highlands Baptist Church. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Now,
you're like, dude, I'm fucking killing it. And then this guy
yeah.
just goes, nah,
Nah,
dude.
dude, that ain't it. That's not what we're looking for. I was like, damn, okay. So I went home and I played and I played and I played and I played and I played. Like, that's all I did. I had this sweet program called Tabit at the time. And
Okay.
it's like guitar tabs, but they played it with like the original, like the shittiest MIDI instrument sound you could possibly think of. And
Yes.
but it had a metronome, and it had, you had sheet music and the tab, so you could kind of go both ways with it. And so I just picked up some chops from just learning songs and figuring out what
What
rock
songs were you learning?
musicians. Dude, of course, you got to learn Crazy Train, you got to
Oh
learn
yeah.
the Sweet Riff, and
Oh
so learning
yeah.
stuff like that. And I was learning like Primus bass lines just because everybody was like, "Oh, this Les Claypool guy is like
He's the
Jesus on bass.
best.
He's the best ever,
Yeah.
dude." And so I'm learning like Southbound Pachyderm by Primus and Ozzy Osbourne and all this stuff that I'm like to figure out how to get into the church band. Obviously.
I just said I'm gonna be the best I could possibly fucking be.
Yeah,
Anybody who
exactly.
shreds, I'm learning.
Anybody who shreds, I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So then it turned out, I was good enough to play bass in the youth group, and that kind of launched into now I'm really at church all the time. Like Monday, you've got small group. Tuesday, you've got practice for the middle school youth group on Wednesday. Then you've got Thursday practice for youth group on Friday. Then you're playing in the big church on Saturday, and it's like this nonstop cycle of playing with musicians better than you and having to get good. Like, fake it, legitimate fake it till you make it status. And it worked
Dude.
out. Like it taught me a lot.
Like it's so funny because like I came from like a very not church background, but like the equivocation I can make with that is I always played with like way older dudes.
Right.
And so like I was always like the kid in bands. And so like just seeing that there's an equivalency of whether you're, church band or not church band, if you just like humble yourself and just like work with insane other musicians, you do learn some shit.
Absolutely. And that's music's not a competition. It's never that way. Like I've never liked shows like Voice, American Idol, stuff like that.
Right.
It's like it's commercializing, everything that there is and makes music this big competition. And if you don't make it, you suck. Like it's just not that way. Like I like to learn from every situation that I'm in musically. I want to be the worst person in the band.
Right.
That like I'm ready to be the worst dude in the band because that means we're ripping. And it would be, it's you have something to learn from everybody around you.
Hell yeah. So you've now ascended. So yes, humble beginnings.
Yep.
You start you're crushing it in Southern Baptist world. Then you go to ascend to the youth group band, and they said, "Nah, dog." You said, "I'm locking in,"
I'm
and then
locking in, dude.
you start ripping. You get in. Where's the transition then from this to worship leader to then metalcore?
So that happened rather quickly. It was like I got into the band and we started, I was playing and doing everything, just throwing myself at it. And
Yeah.
they didn't have a bass player. So it was like I played every week. And then the worship leader that we had was leaving, just like out of nowhere, and
Ooh.
didn't have anybody. So I figure out acoustic guitar and start playing, basic stuff that way. I'd already been kind of messing with it at home, just because, So just playing open chords and capo was life, dude. Capo, thank God for the capo. Um,
Dude, I love that you said that because I I still in my own band today. Like I
you
wrote a couple
capoing
songs.
right now, dude?
What's that? Oh,
Are you capoing?
not right now. I got shamed out of it.
2025?
I got shamed out of it. But
Okay.
on like two EPs ago, one of the songs had a capo on it. We still play that song live sometimes. And I now play that song in drop, but I force one of our other guitar players to do the capo.
Undercover capoing.
Yeah. And he's just like, I fucking hate this. And I'm like, dude, it saved my life. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that you have the honesty to go, thank God, dude.
Yeah, thank God, dude, because otherwise I had to learn a whole lot of other chords really quick. But, so it transitioned into that. And then I really, really picked up on guitar. I was like, I don't want to play bass anymore. This is way better.
Way more fun, way more strings.
Way more fun. And, I had a decent voice at the time, I guess. It was definitely passable for church. So it worked out. Um, Not great, I'm no Beyonce by any means. Don't
But
get me
you're on
wrong.
pitch.
I'm on pitch and it works. It's not gonna send kids running out the door so they can't get saved by Jesus. You know what I mean? So, so it kind of graduated from that. And then I was at the music store one day and ran into a friend of mine who was playing in the cover band world. And I'm like, oh,
Ah,
Joel, how's that going? So he's like, oh, yeah, we're making good money, this, that, and the other. Um, you should come jam with us sometime. And I was like, okay. So turns out I go start jamming with these guys, and I'm 16, almost 17 at the time. And we start playing the bar gigs, and I'm making money playing music. And I'm like, all right, this
you
is
were bar gigging at 16. Holy shit.
16 and 17, dude. I mean, I looked the same. I
Honestly,
looked
yeah.
old enough. So I mean, I started gigging bars at the end of my 16 year into 17. And
Damn.
so we had this thing every Wednesday night at this bar. We had a thing called Project Rockstar, which was live band karaoke. So basically, this packed ass bar, people are coming up and picking out of this book songs that they want to sing, and we're the band for the karaoke singer. So you have to learn hundreds of songs and know all of these songs right off the top of your head. Disgusting, you know? And that's how I met our drummer that we toured with. He was the
Bobby.
drummer, Bobby. Bobby
Yeah.
was the drummer for the cover band. And Bobby introduces me to Brian. And that whole situation kind of started from there. So it jumps from, Southern Baptist to megachurch, like
Right.
10,000 member megachurch.
Oh, damn. One of them.
So yeah, it's one of the big boys, three services on Saturday, three services on Sunday, thousands of members in each one of them.
Dude, you were clocking in all the shifts.
Yeah. So doing that, and then I'm still playing at church while I'm playing the bar gigs, like definitely doing the double life.
Dude,
you know, leading
that's
leading
insane.
worship and then underage drinking the same weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, it's the best of both worlds. All
Yeah,
right.
dude. Yes, the most hypocritical thing, leading worship and doing whatever I was doing at bar gigs.
But you know what? It's human.
It's 100% human.
It's human. And I think yo JC would appreciate that.
I'd like to think so.
So yeah, uh as you alluded, you're running into this cover band, you meet Bobby, and then you meet Brian, and then it transforms into Paddock Park.
Yes.
So now it's insane how such short amount of time, because when I met you, you were like 20. So
Yeah, I was 19.
19, yeah, like you
19.
were young.
I was still
And
underage on tour.
yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
And and it's funny, you were like, yeah, dude, I was doing this at 16. I look the same. I'm like, you passed for an whole ass adult man.
Yeah, everybody was very happy that I was on tour. Like I could go in anywhere and get us beer. It was perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, being able to grow. I'm gonna be
Yours is looking
37.
good, dude. It's
It's
looking
it
good.
this took 37 years, dude.
Hey,
And
keep it,
I
dude.
still get my dad's genetics, so it's not great. But but so you man, that is such a wild transition of 13 to zip into 19 when I met you.
Yeah.
Um so tell me about some of your experiences because my only experience with you in Paddock Park was that one tour.
Right. Okay.
So
So
give us a little history lesson of the band.
I, I will give you a history lesson, but there will be no drama discussions about
No.
about
No,
the
no.
band. I'm too grown.
Yeah.
So the band started, like I said. I met Bobby in the cover band, and he introduced me to Brian, and it just kind of, they had, I think, two songs released on MySpace or something like that. And it was a situation where he had recorded these two songs with, other people, and it was like an internet thing, and he was trying to bring it to life. And so I meet Brian and start, working with him. And then it was like, okay, we need other players. And we went through, a couple people for like our early shows. And then it got locked in with me, Sanders, Bobby, Tim, Brian, and Jason. And so we went, what tour did we go on? We went on tour like some real small Florida stuff, like all southeast, like skate park of Tampa, down in Jupiter,
Oh, hell yeah.
stuff like that. Just smaller stuff, smaller runs with some of our local band buddies, and then got hit up by Eulogy, and it was like, okay, we have no idea what we're doing. And Eulogy hits us up, and we go on and do the We Came as Romans tour, which was sick. That was an awesome, awesome tour.
Hell yeah.
We do the We Came as Romans tour, and then a couple other smaller tours. And then, we had some membership changes. We were in Panama City, and I met Austin, who was the vocalist on tour with you guys.
Such a sweet boy.
Austin is the absolute best. That is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. And there's some sweet stuff going on there right now too. So
love that. But you meet Austin, continue.
So meet Austin, and then we get on the From the Pond tour. We get offered the tour with From the Pond and settle the sky. Now, neither of which band I had ever heard in my life. So I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Wasn't there a different band that because
it was Buck Nasty.
Buck Nasty.
It was Buck Nasty, From the Pond, and us supposed to do. And then Buck Nasty backed out. And some way or another, you guys get thrown on the tour.
So our manager, who lives in Florida, is Alex Kenny.
That was our manager. Okay, this all makes sense. We had the same manager. That's why we were on the tour. Okay, perfect.
How did we not know this?
Yeah.
Wow, perfect. That's crazy.
All right, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so it was just like, all right, no, I'm managing this other band. You just threw it on. Hell yeah. But yeah, so wow. So you only did a couple tours before that tour.
Yeah. So dude, like our first tour after the first real tour that we did was friggin' We Came as Romans.
Right.
So it was, we got shot out the gate with a pretty good one. They were nowhere near as big as they are now, but
still, MySpace was huge.
MySpace was huge. They were bringing a ton of people to shows, even for what we were doing. Way more than that one show that we played.
Oh, trust me, that I have that queued up.
Oh no, you don't.
Oh, I have that. Dog. I have that queued up because, well, just a little teaser. On this insane journey that we went on together, I think it was the last stop before the tour split off, and we went down to Florida, strangely enough, to continue touring with the band called The Midnight Life.
Okay, they were. I think Alex managed them too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
It's a small world after all. And so this last gig that we did, it was insane in the sketchiness of it. But we'll get to that story in a bit. But I have video evidence of this handsome man moshing his fucking butt off.
Oh no, dude!
But
no way.
But where were we?
Anyway, so yeah, that was the lineup that you met. And
hell yeah,
those are my boys, dude. Like that was so many crazy situations on tours. You guys, that tour was just absolutely insane from top to bottom.
And well, conceptually, it's so improbable. Like, so we're on our end. We're this. So I'm gonna take a time out because my head's kind of getting blown right now with a couple things. In that, our beginnings in our bands are eerily similar. Like eerily. In that, even just you and I, where we're playing bass at 13, transitioning to guitar, being hungry, and just trying to learn any instrument and join any band to get better.
Yeah.
And so then Settle the Sky our first tour that was like a big boy tour was with Vanna.
Yes.
And then the next tour after Vanna was with you guys. And so you guys had toured with We Came as the Romans, had that, kind of oomph push. And
Right.
then we met. So we were kind of on similar like trajectories in these MySpace bands. But the oddity here was Settle the Sky were like this super Christian band. And we
Yes.
were we were touring with uh from the Pawn
From the pawn.
from Long Island, New York,
Oh my God.
who are these intimidating as hell until you meet them. The biggest,
Oh my
sweetest teddy
God,
bears
dude.
of all time. Oh my God, I love them. I'm a
Yes.
gush so hard, but uh, but they're like Long Island hardcore, and they're just real like crass and like I don't give a fucking fuck,
The
like
toughest fucking dudes you've ever met in your
yeah.
life.
You want this team on at your back in any bar fight. You
Absolutely.
want them, and then you guys who are like these like our age, very similar to us in like age group, style wise, but you guys were like Florida chilled out, like just bongs and blitzes in the van. If I remember correctly, the van that you guys had was like almost like a Scooby Doo looking van, wasn't it? It was like
So
old as shit, right?
so the tour before you guys, we had this 1980 something Dodge B250. And it was an 8-passenger. We had an 8-passenger
Hey,
van and I think an 6x10 or a 6x12 trailer. The trailer was fine. So we had room for everything in the trailer, and then we had the 8-passenger. And we were in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas, and transmission just died.
many such
So,
cases.
oh, right. So we get picked up by this guy. I will never forget his name, dude. Bridges Crumshire picks us up in his tow truck
That rules.
and tows us to this transmission shop. And I think it was like a Friday night or something, and they weren't open again until Monday, and we had to be in Colorado or somewhere the next day. And he's just like, "Well, can't do nothing about your transmission, but I can sell you a van." I was like, "I'm listening. I'm listening."
Run it.
So he sells us this powder blue
Mm.
B350 15-passenger van that says in big scroll letters down the right of it, London Baptist Church.
Oh, that's right.
So we get the youth group van. It's like my punishment. You know what I mean? It's like
Uh,
you left the church.
all those bar gigs, dude. This
Yeah,
is what
now
you
you're in the
fucking
church
get.
van. Take that. So, mind you, we're in the middle of nowhere. It's the weekend. We have a handwritten bill of sale on like lined paper in pencil, of all things. This
Incredible.
bill of sale is in pencil. And so when you're traveling, you don't necessarily have to get a new registration. You just have to have the bill of sale. So I would erase the date that we bought the van, and every time we get pulled over, oh, we just bought the van today, and I think we did that for like 4 months.
That's incredible,
Yeah. So yeah, we toured in the church van.
dude. And so yeah. It was, and when you say powder blue, my God,
That's exactly what it was.
straight like 1960s powder blue. It was
Dude,
like
let me tell you, that van was the best. The motor, like the most ice cold AC you've ever had in your life. Like it drove like a freaking champion.
and I remember
Was
you guys gloating about that. Like
dude, I bought it for $750 and it drove 100,000 miles.
I
Like
say,
it must
I'm
have.
trying to remember. I'm pretty sure we at that time we had our turtle top
Yep, y'all had the turtle
van.
top, and then I think From the Ponds van broke down on our tour, right? And
Oh
they
my
had to get a new
God.
one.
And
It
that
caught on
was
fire or something.
it was oh my God. you just unlocked something I haven't thought about in so long. So that was on the way to Denver, and
Okay.
that
Oh
and
my
that
God, Denver,
with
Maris, the
Maris.
great.
So from the pond, literally their van, by no stretch of the term, exploded.
Yes.
like it was up. Like I remember Ernie, their merch guy,
Yeah.
who still a wonderful friend to this day, and I love that
I
man
love
to
Ernie.
death. His retelling of what was happening, because he was driving. I got to have him on at some point, and just his way of describing it. It was almost like cinematic, where like starts with some smoke, some sparks. He's driving, everybody's asleep, and then all of a sudden he starts seeing flames
Oh
coming
my
out of
God.
the air vents, and he's like, "Fuck!" So their shit's kaput. Our guitar, I'm pretty sure our guitar player co-signed on their new 12 passenger that they got to continue the tour. I'm pretty sure that was Mike. Is he out of all of us? I think he was the only one that actually had a credit score. Like none of all of us were like zero.
That was me. So it was
Yeah,
like I had a bunch of student loan money like
yeah,
stashed away, but we ran through it. We did a good job of running through every dollar of it. So
hell yeah, as one should at that
yeah,
age. But so they're able to continue the tour. Strangely enough, at one of the most insane shows, where if anyone who listens to this does not know the times. This is again what, 2008, 2009.
2008, 2009.
Yeah, and this is peak where what website was he initially on? I can't remember, but there was a lot. There was a lot of creativity with like like band interview shows or gigs, and there was this character named Maris the Great, who was this gay zombie who had a punk band, which I'm pretty sure they were.
You can't say the name.
Can't say
You'll
the
get
name.
canceled.
Yeah,
You'll get canceled right now.
Maris and the
Maris the Great and the
maggots
maggots of death.
of death.
I will never forget it. Ever.
I will, same dude, and I'm glad that we're remembering this now.
Horrified. Like I was legitimately afraid. And Gary was like, "Bro, they're so nice, you know."
He's so cool.
I'm like, "No, there's not a possibility that they are. There's no possibility that they are."
Because
nice.
he was never off. He was always on. He was always in character the whole time.
Yes.
And
that was a cool show, though. That was a cool show.
That was a really, and it had really solid turnout.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, we all had like really good sets that night.
Yeah.
But I remember
was a sick show.
It was a sick show, but Maris was definitely the most memorable part, because I know from our end, my experience with Maris was very brief, because I had known of him, which is why I felt like maybe I was a little bit more prepared, because like I like followed his website for his interviews with bands,
right? Where he would kill them, right? He would like
he would kill them, and they would have like this real gory, like cheesy, like horror movie murder of Maris killing these band dudes and threatening to gobble their cocks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
like the craziest shit you've ever seen.
The most insane, gross stuff. And it was so funny. But also the interviews were actually genuinely interesting, because he would slide in actual good questions in there. You're like, oh, right. Wow. And I was a massive fan of the band It Dies Today. Shout out metalcore, just period. But definitely threw some spin kicks to that Kate of Choir record. But he interviewed them, and that's how I was privy to his antics. And so
Right.
when we made it to Denver, and it was like, oh yeah, From the Pawns getting interviewed by Maris, and they're gonna kill him and all this stuff. And I was like, oh fuck. I know what Harris Maris hates the most. Women. He hates anytime anyone mentions anything about a woman or a vagina, he screams and runs away. And I knew that, and I had it in my pocket. So
You had
fast
the
forward.
cheat code, dude. You could have helped me out.
I know I was a selfish little bitch. I'm sorry, dude. Man, I was in sheer panic mode too. So I was just like, all right, but I'm actually a very shy boy at heart, and so I tend to just kind of hide anyway.
Right.
And I remember I was warming up like backstage somewhere with one of the rare opportunities where we actually had like almost like a green room area, like
Right.
that, was actually decent. And I'm warming up, and literally Mary walks into the room like this, like such like fucking Nosferatu. And he goes, well, I want to gobble your cock. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, Maris. I wish I could, but I have a pussy. And he just goes, and he ran away. I was
Oh
like,
my god.
dodged him, dude. And the
What
only
did he
time
call Gary?
snacky treat.
Snacky treat.
And that was Gary's nickname for the rest of the tour.
Oh yeah. He was never living that down.
No, he and to this day, he's a married ass man, whole ass family. In my heart of hearts, he's snacky treat.
That's snacky treat, dude. Shout out
But
snacky treat.
shout out snacky treat, but also the other memorable moment I remember is Dan, our singer Dan, has a bubble, and if you go past that bubble, he will freak out and he will hit you. And I remember vividly, I was behind because I was behind Maris as this was happening, because I saw Maris see Dan at our merch table, and Maris fucking beelines. He was like, "Ooh, fresh meat," because Dan made it very obvious that Maris made him uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He kept dodging him, and so Maris was like, "Ooh." Like honestly, every clown from my childhood, they like sense that like, "Ooh, you're uneasy.
Yeah.
I pick you." And so Maris does that to Dan. He fucking zooms over to the merch table. And this is where, like, maybe in hindsight, this is a very cancelable offense. But Maris reaches over the merch table and grabs Dan's dick.
Oh my
Tries
god,
to
dude.
just go full grab. And Dan just like with all the power that he had in him, just rips out a punch and
Oh,
smashes
no.
Maris' hand into the merch table. And Maris just goes, ah, you're lucky I'm dead. And he walks away.
Oh my god, dude. What like a crazy thing to live through.
So, okay, now that we've kind of kicked the door open a little bit, before we get into like the general questions,
Okay.
let's kind of finish because I know we're gonna have so many fucking stories after this. So I'm gonna save
Yeah.
that for a little later. But so we have this tour. It's crazy. There's so much shit with it. What happened after the tour? Like that's the part of the history that I don't know. No, so
So
even for the listeners and for myself, what happened?
so I think that was kind of the last one. And it was just like Bobby had kids already.
Oh, I
And
forgot about that.
it was like we had gone through the membership changes, we had, done whatever. And it was just, I think it was time to go home. And we did, and kind of broke off into a couple little side projects here and there. I played, I went back to gigging, doing bar gigs and
Bar
private
gigging.
parties and stuff. And kind of just, I played in a couple other bands, recorded some stuff, put some stuff out, and just never, I don't know, never really had the urge to go back and do it again. I had so much
Damn.
fun. I Dude, it was like, well, I came home and I had kids and
Yeah.
got old real quick. Um, but I haven't stopped playing. I haven't stopped writing. I haven't stopped recording. I haven't stopped being active with music.
Well, yeah,
But
it's in
it's
the
like,
blood.
it's yeah, for sure. So it's just like that was kind of the end of it, man. And we kind of
Wow.
came home and I didn't really want to try to do it with another drummer, and it was just like those were all of my best friends. I didn't want to replace anybody in that band.
So, dude,
Once we
that's
had
huge.
once we had done like the replacement, the original replacement,
Right.
that just it felt like home. And that's when the set like really came together. Everything was tight. Like it was fun. And you were doing it with your absolute best friends. And no matter what happens on the road, there's shitty times with any band and you get pissed off at each other. But
Oh, yeah.
at the end of the day, it was like, I don't want to do this with another drummer, or I don't want to do this with, another bass player or anything like that. It was just like, this is where it is. I got to literally travel the entire country with my best friends in the world doing like the most insane shit that you could ever imagine. And I got it out of my system like by the time I was 21 years old. Like I I had my
Man.
first kid at 21 and I hadn't been on the road in like over a year. It was like I got to see literally everything the United States has to offer. It was a blast, and I
Yeah.
just didn't want to do it with anybody else.
You are the most adult at 21. Yeah.
No, I was not. Do not give me that much credit. But
Well, and I should say in the lexicon of band dude mentality, because there's still band dudes our age now who would feel very differently than you did at 21,
yeah,
where you were able to sit with yourself and go, no, man, that was really fucking rad. And if shit's not going to be what that was, I'm not going to fuck with that.
yeah,
And then you had a whole ass baby and you went to the next chapter of life.
yeah. And
And
it
I
was
mean, that,
always like, you know, I always said I'll do it again if every gig is a fly gig or like my whole family could come or whatever. But
right.
like just the music industry now is so freaking insane. Like
Brother, tell me about it.
I'm good,
So,
man.
no, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little envious because that's like that is a power right there of being able to go, you know what? Prioritize, man, and pivot. Where I had my daughter at 23, and that's when I stopped touring.
Right.
And if I'm keeping a absolute fucking buck, I struggled with that. I
Yeah.
really
Oh, dude,
struggled.
I did. Like, believe me, it
Okay.
wasn't like a perfect happy ending. It was
Okay.
like I was upset. Everybody was like upset that it was. It's really hard to adjust to regular ass life
Dude,
after
that's
living that kind of life. Dude, I
yeah.
literally left my graduation party. I graduated high school, went to my mom's house for a graduation party, and literally left to go on tour. I had signed the record deal before I graduated high school. Like, literally left my house from my graduation and was gone forever. So it was like you grow up quick that way.
Yeah, you
And
live like a whole ass lifetime in
yeah,
a couple years.
yeah. And it's like, do you want to put yourself through that again? Do you want to, I don't know. It was tough. It was like, I know I'm talented enough to be playing wherever.
Right.
I've practiced, I've worked my ass off at my instrument. So it was like one of those things was, oh, why and everybody, you know how it is, man. People know you're a musician and it's like, oh, why aren't you doing this anymore? You know, it's like, oh, you're playing at friggin' bars. You were playing all over the place before. What's going on? It's like making more money. I'm making way more money playing at this shithole bar, dude. Like,
Yeah, like that is it's not unfortunate because it's uh it's just the reality
yeah,
of bar gigs. I mean, especially cover band gigs. That's where the money's at because the reality that you learn, and we learned it at such a young age, is this world, not only the music industry, but just being a musician. Uh, if you are this type of person where you are stubborn and you're like, no, my songs, my band, I, that's what I want to play. You have to really, really structure your life for a long ass fucking time and get really fucking lucky.
yeah,
And then you can make a career out of it. The 99.9% of the time, folks, is you're a musician, you try to do that, you go through that inner turmoil of like, but then you're like, you almost have to like re-fall in love again with playing music, with just playing your instrument. Doesn't
right.
matter if it's your song or a fucking cover song, you learn to love it again. And then those bar gigs again are like, dude, I get to play guitar and you paid me $500. So sick.
Yeah, it's super sick. And I went, I'm at that point again where I'm writing, I'm recording, I'm having fun with it. It's not like a chore to pick up my guitar, and I'm hardly gigging.
Mhm.
I've played in the last 2 years. I've probably played 15 gigs, dude. That's it.
Wow. Okay.
And there was years prior to that, like probably 3, 4 years ago, where I'd play 300 gigs in a year.
See, that's what I remember because we've kept tabs afar as
Yeah.
Facebook friends. And so I've seen your progression over the years, and there was this time that you're specifically talking about where you were like flyer after flyer of just you doing solo gigs, you doing like cover band gigs
Hmm.
anywhere and everywhere, whether it was a band or just by yourself
Yeah.
acoustically,
And
you
that
were
shit'll
gigging.
kill you, dude. It'll you get
That
sucked into that lifestyle, and that's for a whole nother, podcast.
oh,
To see a whole different
but
realm of podcasting. But you
that burned you
then
out,
well, then again, you got to reprioritize your life, and decide what really matters to you, and and I think that's one of the side effects of being, a touring musician at such a young age and getting that thrill, super early in life, and just stopping and then getting back to heavy gigging. It's like, oh yeah, there's a freaking show every night, or some days there's 3 shows, and the things that come with the music business that can get you through 3 gigs in a day aren't necessarily, the best decisions to make in life. So it's
right?
again, like reprioritizing after a tour, and then reprioritizing after like throwing yourself down the music instrument horror rabbit hole. It's
Right.
like,
On top of
so
being a husband and a
yeah,
dad.
yeah, and as it strained on those things too. And it's been nice not playing, but now it's like you still want to be creative. You still want to, feel like you still got it. And it's like I hadn't really been playing a whole lot of heavy music or anything. You know what I mean? And it's like
Right.
I'm obviously still an avid listener. And I think the funny thing is like that new Sleep Token album that came out. I listened to that shit and I was like, yeah, I'm a fucking heavy dude still. Like, I want to
Oh
get
yeah.
back to writing some like super heavy. And it was so weird because I never you could have asked me like if I thought I would like that band, and I would have laughed you out of the room. And it was like
Right.
the writing, everything about it is so absolutely freaking incredible.
But it
It's
fucking
like
hit you. Yeah.
it hit me, and it was like there because some of the songs you listen to them, and it's got like this worship band feel to it in like sections of it. And it's and like the whole thing about them is like an offering, it's worship, and it's this, that, and the other. And it's like music is emotional, man. Like,
Yes.
and I think that's kind of what moves the room a lot of times at these big churches. And
Oh,
a lot
dude.
of
Yeah.
people fail to understand that. It's like, yeah, you can make a room move with a freaking groove, dude. It's may not be something magical from above that's making this room move. It's
Right.
like, because
No.
songs can hit you right in the freaking feels, dude, and take you
Hmm.
somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
it's a
And
wild
it's
thing.
so I love that you're saying that because I've been listening. I cringe when I say it, but I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and but
We're
there's
on one, dude.
well, I know, right? Isn't that crazy? But it's uh, something that I've heard is kind of even in my own research of my own podcast and talking with people or like listening to other bands interviews and stuff like that about this time, especially the Christian aspects of it, is just
Yeah.
there's just the sheer power of being moved by music. And whether it's some Holy Spirit or whether it's just the songs, the whole idea period is there's a room, there's a song, there's energy.
Yeah.
And when especially when you're people like us who are just from such a young age are injected with this creative gene, sometimes it goes dormant, sometimes it doesn't. And then sometimes you listen to a record and you go, "Oh yeah, oh this is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh no, that is fun." And one of the fun little bits I got out of therapy a couple years ago, when I was kind of grappling because you made a point earlier of like when you're early on touring musician, it ages you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like so
Immediately.
immediately. And so like I was having a midlife crisis before 30.
You don't know what to do, man. Like,
Yeah, right.
it's there's a lot of psychology that goes into it, but like you're basically a nomad, dude. There is no home, there is no structure. There's structure. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have to
For
be here.
sure.
I have to be here at this time.
There are
But there's
itineraries, there are sound scans to turn in.
yeah, but you don't like have a center. You know what I mean? Like, you don't
Yeah,
have like a reset. Every day is a friggin' reset. And it's like it keeps your body and your mind in like this sense of shock that you don't even realize. You know what I mean?
right,
I woke up 600 miles from where I fell asleep or whatever it may be. Like,
right.
it's just, oh, we got to do this. And I have no idea where the hell I am.
So and then it creates this almost new person,
Yeah.
that you previously were. And so one of the things that I was like kind of unpacking in therapy while I'm having this midlife crisis is this process of uh cognitive restructure and being able to kind of get to that point kind of where we were talking to where you were gigging, got really fucking burnt out on it, you had to take a pause and like reprioritize again, and recenter yourself. But then what happens is you cognitively restructure in your head music and what it means to you and why you do it. And one of the things I struggled with was, I need to be getting it out there. I need people to hear it. I need to, I have so many songs and I have such little time and such little resources. And it was sort of like this, like, or why do you love music? Why? And you're like, well, because it moves me and it's like a language that it feels like not many people speak that I speak. And it makes me feel connected. It makes me feel, and so he's like, well, then just play music or just listen to it. And then like you listen to the Sleep Token album and you're like, oh,
Like,
like
I
heavy
used to
music
do
is
stuff like
sick.
this. I used to write, it's like,
Yeah. And then you pick up your guitar and you start noodling a little bit and
yeah.
you're like, all
So
right.
I messaged him and I'm like, yo, you heard this freaking Sleep Token band? He's like, yeah, dude, like I sent you this like a month ago.
Actually, I showed you. So
I'm like, well, I didn't listen to it, but I found it. So now we're talking about it. And I was just like, we just got to talking about the writing of it and this, that, and the other. And I said, I'm putting out a friggin' album, dude. Like I'm gonna do an album. I don't care if 6 people listen to it or I don't care, whatever happens, happens.
yeah,
So it was just like I have literally everything at my disposal to do it.
there's
I'm
no time
sitting
pressure.
I'm sitting in front of it. There's you know
Yeah. You were previously almost on it before we
Yeah, it's
before we went
like now
streaming.
yeah, I record my album on my iPhone, like this podcast.
Oh, there you go. No, but
But
that's so exciting, dude.
yeah, so I
Just
mean,
like,
it is it's crazy how music can move you. Crazy how music can be just this unspoken language that only a select lucky few people get to speak. It's awesome.
and so you're writing music. I'm loving that. And it's, man, I love knowing that you have a healthy mentality on it
Yeah,
of just like, I don't give a fucking flying fuck if one person or 100 or whatever. I just have songs and it's fun and there's no like pressure. And I think that was one of the things that I really wish I could have told all of our younger selves, honestly, not just me. Of just like, you don't have to like rush,
yeah.
and I think that was the demise of our band. Like, you guys were smart and
Don't give
you
us any sort of credit like that, dude. We were a bunch of fucking idiots.
I mean, we all were, but smart in that you knew when to Costanza, so to speak, where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna walk. All right, we're walking away.
Yeah,
Because after that tour, we did like dozens of more tours after that. But like, then other people started reprioritizing their lives and they would leave. And rather than going like, no, we shouldn't replace that and just kind of move on, we were like, no, the machine must keep running. And so then
yep,
we would get these fill-ins and then these replacements. The dynamics are all weird and that juice is gone.
yeah,
That create that what made that creativity special in the beginning, it's gone now.
yep,
And or at least it's different. And that's sort of like why I think we really imploded, because it was like we got to get a bigger label now. We got to get off of standby. We got to do the next thing. We got to get
yeah,
bigger tours. You got to like, and I promised on episode 1 that this would be a consistent bit because I'm still bitter about it. And I'm going to bring it up almost every episode. Is towards the end of the band when we were like, we need to sell ourselves more. One of the guitar players at the final part of the band was like, we're starting P90X. We're getting shredded and we got to look hot.
oh hell
It was,
yeah,
it,
dude.
it was getting to that point and it was like, oh my God. And that's when it fully imploded. And what the reality is with music, the best music is organic,
Yeah,
especially in the crazy times of AI and stuff like that right now. In my opinion, at least, like, the best songs that I've heard are the ones where it was just some dudes fucking getting together and just no like deadlines, no crazy things. I'm just like, we're here, we're writing songs.
yeah,
Just love writing music. And the things that come out of that process are truly, I think, even if it's nothing that's huge or famous, you've created something that will now last forever.
right.
Period. So that being said, shout out therapy.
I feel
um,
like we just had a little therapy
I
session.
know.
That was
Honestly, but that's sort of my mission on this podcast.
yeah,
That's why I'm having these conversations with folks like you, is because Core Confessionals is a 2-purpose podcast where one, I want the historical retrospective,
Right.
because just what you've told on this podcast already is insane. Just all the timelines that you lived in such like less than 10 years
Dude,
is
I,
wild.
it's hard to do the math because it was all just like you live a whole
Boom, boom,
life.
boom, 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 boom.
You live a whole life in like 7 years, dude.
Yeah.
And
And so it's
it's like a
fascinating.
chapter of it, but it's like how do you call it a chapter? You know what I mean? It's like,
Right. There was so many. And then
yeah,
because of that, like it's especially when you get older, we're getting closer to 40 every day, brother.
dude, every single day.
Every
35 is
day.
insane. Shout
All
out
right.
35.
Turning 37. And
Are you really?
yeah, I'm really starting to feel it now.
He's 36 in April.
So like when you're on the other side of 35 and you're climbing up, you're like, I see it. And now the more closer I get to it, less I'm scared of it. But as I get older, I start becoming a little bit over like a mini historian,
Right.
like where you're just kind of like trying to remember things because your memory's not as great, and like you start doing stuff like this.
I get it, dude.
Yeah, and so your memory's not great, so you start like really trying to like uh remember and catch up with people and hear stories again, and
Mhm.
because and then when you do this, it's such a fascinating era, like just the 2000s period was such a interesting time because it was this early enough in technology where it was still pretty barbaric.
Right.
We were really roughing it out there, with
Sidekicks.
sidekicks and barely working tom toms. Like that. That was you had a completely different set of survival skills with that, and uh, everybody had their own stories and has their own perspectives of the time and the music. And then the second part of this podcast is what we just did, therapy.
Therapy.
Because again, you get older and you start like remembering things again. And I don't know about you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, but just nostalgia's a bitch, dude.
It's yeah. It's it's I like to think of it, thinking back on stuff like that. It's like a little mental trophy case. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
looking back, there's so many stories just from the tour that we were on together to like other stuff that we
One
all did
tour.
together. It
One.
one. It was like a
And it was
month of
enough
our
for a
lives that
lifetime.
felt like forever. It was just
Yes.
insane. But looking back on the stuff, it makes you realize that time does not stop for anything.
For no man.
That tour was almost 20 years ago, dude. Like almost 20 years ago. Which is insane to even say out loud. Like
And we're here
it's
talking about
nuts.
it. That's crazy. And I
But
love
it's I'm lucky to be able to look back on stuff like that and the relationships and just like this is a perfect example of it. The relationships that you make in situations like that literally last forever. Like
yeah.
if you it would be insane to get that whole group of guys like just in one Zoom call. Could you imagine that fucking Zoom call?
That's not a bad idea. And
That would be a sick way to do a little reunion. Like
I think that we, even if it's nothing that we stream, that just like private and just have it all together.
just hop in. I mean, even if it's friggin' well, it'll take all fucking night. But
Yeah.
that would just be sick to get that entire group of people in a freaking Zoom call because that would be you want to talk about a time capsule. Just everybody's different stories and inputs from that time of our lives.
Yeah,
That was
dude.
one of the craziest months in existence as far as I'm concerned.
And so what's kind of cool, you kind of touched on it just now, is there's this phenomenon that happens when you are I call it almost like like trench metalcore warfare, where like you are roughing it for a month and a half on the road with these dudes,
Yeah.
and you create not only friendships, but these friendships that, dude, I haven't seen or talked to you since 2008,
Right.
um, and now that we're actually talking together, it's like, oh no, yeah, this is what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had that same moment a few years ago. I took a little mancation with my friend Jimmy over to New York.
See the boys?
I got to see Fusco, and I got to see Ernie
Sick.
when Ernie was still in New York before he moved to Denver.
Right.
And it had been at that point quite a few years since I had seen them. And so you're kind of like, what's it going to be like? It's been 10 years,
Yeah.
like, uh, and the second, dude, like I could cry like right now, like that
Yeah.
feeling, the excitement of like he knew us. And we got older, we got fatter.
We all did, dude.
Yeah, you're like insecure. You're like, I don't know if he'll even recognize me anymore. And like he instantly saw me, and he just gave me the biggest fucking hug. And you're like, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what it's about, dude. And it's like comparing it to being on a freaking football team, dude. Just the
Yeah.
camaraderie and like the teamwork. Because, dude, we were not on luxury tours by any means.
This is
We
blue collar.
we lived off of fucking Taco Bell and hope, and not a whole lot of hope. More Taco Bell than hope,
And sometimes not even Taco Bell.
dude. I mean, we some days were good. Like there were shows that we got paid good for, and we
Oh
had the
yeah.
hotel budget, and we had whatever. But there were some shows where we were doing the envelope system, and everybody else's envelope was way fatter than our envelope, and you got what, six of us and a merch person,
Hmm.
with like a $2 a piece budget at Taco Bell.
Yeah, that $2 per
Beefy
diem.
five layers, dude. Like
You're like,
just
well, we'll budget
insane.
this.
Yeah, we joke about it all the time. Like we were so broke at one point, Sanders had this big jar of pineapple juice.
Hmm.
And I was like, hey man, I'm thirsty. We need to bust into this pineapple juice. And he's like, well, I'm saving it for when we have alcohol. I was like, newsflash, motherfucker. We can't afford food. I don't know when you think we're gonna, be able to afford alcohol to go with your big ass can of pineapple juice, but
But we need to live.
and he's like, well, think about how much you want it right now and think about how much better it would taste if you just like waited till tomorrow to open it. And I'm like, this is fucked up, dude. Give me some pineapple juice, man. We're dying here.
Yeah. Please.
Needless to
But
say, we
that's
opened the
real.
pineapple juice. But that's the shit that you're going through living in a van. I mean, we took out like the two middle bunks in our van and put a
Hmm.
queen size mattress in
I
there.
remember that. I remember
Dude,
that.
it was sick. But
Yeah.
you're in such tight quarters and it's just like living off nothing, man. It's literally, you
Stinky.
described it, the trenches, man. It's like breakdown warfare.
Yeah.
Mental and musical breakdowns.
Yeah. So I remember now this is where the ADHD comes in, because like you say something and it just kind of like reminds me of something,
Right.
of just those uh ebbs and flows of really good gig, not so good gig.
Yeah.
And I remember like we had a stretch. So when we made it to Idaho, and we played the basement of a hair salon. Do you remember this?
I do. I think, is that the show where both Dan and JD's voices were shot?
I think
And I think me
yes.
and Austin did vocals for you.
Yeah, probably. That
I'm
doesn't
pretty sure
surprise
that's
me.
how it went down.
Yeah, there was some you have the mic, you got it.
Yeah.
I remember that show in particular was again a basement of a fucking hair salon. And it was cool because we got our hair washed, and that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
But then we had to do a 16-hour trek up north through the mountain range. in these shitty ass vans.
I think we were going to like Washington State or some shit like
Yakima.
that. Yakima, Washington, dude.
Yakima,
That's exactly
Washington.
where we were going.
Yeah, and we were going to a fucking. Then we play a bar and grill.
Yeah.
So we play a hair salon. Go through and keep in mind this is like February. It is
Shitty tires.
winter. Shitty tires, shitty vans, mountain range,
Children
Narnia
driving.
outside. Yes,
Children, literal children,
literal babies,
yeah.
Whole ass babies shitting themselves. And we make it to Yakima, Washington to play a bar and grill. And then we go to Oregon. And I can't fuck. Was that when Austin broke his fucking arm?
No, he broke his leg.
He broke his leg.
Burnside Skate Park in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, and then we play a sick show.
Yeah, and he kicked a kid in the face with his boot. It was nasty.
His fucking boot.
With his ankle boot.
You're like, ah! And then we're like, okay, now we're going down the entire state of California, and we play the infamous. I'm not pulling up the video for this episode because when I asked for some permissions, there was some hesitancy.
We can talk about it.
We can talk about it at least.
We can talk about it.
We can talk.
We don't have to show it because I think there's definitely some cancelable shit.
It's incriminating because historical context. You know, we're all 18 to 22-year-olds at this time. It's 2008, 2009-ish area. Halo's huge. We hear the gamer chats. Gay is every other word.
Yes.
Not a great time.
No.
Not with any hate or any malice, but it was just humor.
It was different. It was different back then.
It was a different time. It was practically the 90s.
I mean, we can just call it a fashion show. Like
it was a fashion show.
It was a fashion show.
So we'll get to the fashion show in a second. But we're driving down California, and the first stop we had in California was in a place called Susanville.
Yes.
Susanville, California, which is the most non-California looking town. And
it was fake, dude. It was a fake town.
Okay, thank you. I don't think we ever we may have conversated about this at the time, but it felt such a deranged, weird town. And
bro,
something
there
was off
nothing normal about this place.
We played a Baptist church at this place in Susanville, California, and it was one of those gigs where we had just come off from playing a hair salon, bar and grill, a couple cool venues, but we weren't making great money. We were kind of gig to gig right now.
Yeah.
We hit this gig, and not only did the promoter cancel the show, he forgot to tell the bands and the sound guy and the guy who was running opening the doors for us that the show was canceled. So they still were running the show as if the show was happening. But then the promoter never showed up. And it was just the sound dude. And 2 or 3 people who didn't know the show was canceled showed up.
Yeah.
And they looked at the bands and they said, "Hey man, do you guys still want to play?" And we're like, "Yes, there's 3 people here. Let's still have a show. Let's have fun."
Yeah.
Because the nice thing, I think the guy who was opening and letting us play at this Baptist place, felt bad, and he was like, "You guys can sleep here too."
I love it when those happen.
I love it when that happens. So we made a lemonade out of dog shit,
100%.
Where we had a place to stay, and they gave us, I don't know if you remember this, oh my god, what is that? Jack in the Box tacos.
Yes, I do remember that.
Just an insane amount of those 89 cents, or at this time they might have been 50 cents at this time.
It was cheap back then, dude.
Yeah, it was a whole giant cardboard box full of dozens and dozens of shitty tacos.
Yes.
And we all ate it. And while we're having a little sleepover, I can't remember who discovers this, but somebody decides to go snooping around. And they find a closet that had a bunch of costumes.
No, dude, it was the lost and found box.
Was it? It was a lost and found box? Okay.
So I think like maybe it was Evan and somebody else. It was definitely somebody from New York that found this.
Okay.
That found this box. But yeah, it was the lost and found box of the church. And I would love to bring up some of the items.
Well,
that
that's
were
what I'm saying.
found.
The reason why maybe in my memory of why I thought this was a costume thing was because the things that are apparently in this lost and found, a fucking Speedo, matching tutus, 2 leotards,
underwear,
like black drama underwear, dresses, hats, necklaces, like the most insane wear is in this box. And we're all looking at each other. We're all having sleepover energy. We're hyped up on fucking Mountain Dew and tacos. And we're like, you guys want to do something stupid? Let's have a fashion show and film it. And you guys were so smart. I've said that a lot on this podcast, but you guys made a calculated decision.
We sure did.
You said, nah, I'm good. However, I will enjoy watching this.
We said we'd be the judges.
Yeah, that's right. You guys could judge. And naive, subtle the sky, and
oh my god, dude.
Big, strong, super intimidating New York hardcore from the pawn who don't back down from no challenge and are also just in for a good goof and laugh.
My cheeks hurt, dude, just thinking about it.
So we put on this fashion show where Snacky Treat makes a debut coming off the hot heels of that Denver show, a week before, earning that nickname and that Speedo. Yes. And then Dan as a cowboy.
Who better to be the commentator of this movie than
Sam?
He was perfect for the job.
Sam, our drummer, Sam. I love Sam. And
incredible drummer. Incredible, like he's so nasty.
I'm seeing him on Sunday. We're jamming.
Tell him I said hello.
And I will.
So nasty on the drums.
But Sam was the host and he was fantastic. And his improv skills, just giving nicknames. The
Wonder Twins or whatever he called you and JD.
So me and JD were given the task of putting on these super tight black leotards. And he called us the Sumping Twins. Now, mind you, he was the Sumping Twins. And JD, our personalities, I mean, he's like my little brother, and like we are like really close.
Yeah.
But our personalities could not be more different sometimes. Where he's very outgoing and he's very, I don't give a fucking shit.
Yeah.
And I'm very sheepish and I'm very shy, and you guys didn't know this stuff at the time, but I also have like an insane case of body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Where like, I'm 6'4", I'm like this tall dude, and you're a pretty tall dude. So you always feel like this like lumbering presence. I hate being perceived. I hate being like, I don't want to be this big hulking monster. And I'm having a fucking meltdown putting on this leotard because I'm seeing every fucking fat roll, and I'm like, you can see my entire dick and balls, like I'm just like, I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare. And I'm like shaking in fear in the bathroom with this leotard on with like my socks barely on. And then JD opens the door and he's like, Ian, it's our time. We gotta go. And so right as he says that, you hear Sam in the other room go, when we hear you guys start screaming, double feature, double feature. And then I hear Sam say, ladies and gentlemen, the something twins. And JD grabs me by the arm and yanks me into the room. And we just start nonsensically I wouldn't even call it dancing. Maybe JD was dancing.
Flailing is the word.
I was like trying to do like really like fluttery ballet moves, but I'm just this all limbs, and I'm also like scared of like my nut's gonna fall out or something like that. And I'm just like, ah. And then I'm so caught up in the hysteria of the moment. Everybody's laughing, we're having a good time. I'm in sheer panic, and I eat absolute dog shit.
Yes. 10 out of
And
10.
I almost kill, I think it was Michelle, the merch gal for from the pawn. I almost take her out, I'm pretty sure. But I land on a sleeping bag, and JD drags me out by the sleeping bag. So
oh my God, man.
We got paid nothing at the show, but we got paid everything at the same time.
Yeah, we got paid in tacos and with a hell of a fashion show.
We had a fashion show.
It's the only fashion show I've ever been to. So, by proxy, it is the best fashion show I've ever seen.
Yes. And so, so we have this crazy show, and this is where it kind of blurs for me, because I think we had like 2 more California shows.
Yeah.
I think in San Diego, maybe, or something like that, somewhere in Southern California. And then we cut across. And then we play in Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah.
And that was in like some shopping plaza.
So the end of the tour was so shitty, dude. It was so bad.
We started so strong, especially like the Denver show, and like
we're like, this is gonna be awesome. They tricked us.
And then we're at some shopping plaza in Tempe, Arizona, which that show wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
But
bad.
that was the show where I actually had to hide in our van, because there was like a hardcore crew that was at the show. And apparently during our set, I used to do this thing, and you might remember this, where I used to do the Triple H shit.
Yeah.
Where I would drink some water, and during like for the breakdown of Cheyenne, I would spit water. Now, before we play Cheyenne, it was a bunch of Mr. Cool Guy hardcore dudes, and we were a little too screamo and girly for them.
Right.
They were waiting. They were wanting to see From the Pawn, and they were expecting Buck Nasty, and they did not get Buck Nasty.
Yeah, they got Settle the Sky.
They got Settle the Sky, and so they're hating it. And I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was the spirit. I don't know, but I got a little cocky, and I'm like trying to like, come on, get up here, and I'm like giving them fucking thumbs down, and then I do my fucking Triple H spit, and we play our set, and I go outside. Then I get accosted by a group of dudes in gym shorts, and they're like, "Hey, man, who the fuck do you think you are?" And I was like, "What?
Me?
What would I do?" I'm like 20, 21 going,
yeah. Please don't hurt me.
Please don't hurt me. And they're like, you don't get to come to our town and judge our moshing and give us thumbs down, and they have the fucking audacity to spit on us. He's talking to me like a fucking mob boss. Again, he's wearing fucking gym shorts.
Yeah.
But he's giving me the business. And then our bass player, or he was the bass player, and then he moved to guitar after Jeremiah left. Mickey.
Yeah.
Saving grace, Angel comes in, and he's like, "Hey, Ian, I need you to come help me with something in the van real quick." And he just kind of swooped me.
Yeah.
And he put me in the van. We got in the van. He hit that fucking lock button. He says, "You're not fucking leaving." You are not going to get assaulted tonight. And I was like, thank you, dude. I'm so sorry.
I feel like we behaved relatively well on that tour.
Yes, you did.
We even let some of you guys come and ride with us in the van.
Oh yeah, no, that was like something that I learned. I think we actually learned it on this tour is van trades.
Yeah,
Where
van
like
trades was awesome.
yeah, where somebody was like, I want to have a sleepover. And
Dude,
so we would donate somebody and you would smoke them out.
dude, Dan was the funniest van swap we ever had.
I can imagine.
I won't talk about it without him here, but Dan, I love that guy. And we had the time of our lives in that van. And
He is a permanent silly boy, and I can only imagine the shenanigans you boys went up to.
well, we were doing like at that time, Team America was super popular.
Oh
So
yeah,
we were doing the Matt Damon. Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon.
So we're doing that, and he's like, he thinks we're saying Matt Trashbag.
Matt Trashbag.
So, we just turned into this big running joke. Oh, Matt Trashbag. And it was just like, what the fuck? But we had so much fun. I think he rode with us. I think Ryan rode with us once.
I think JD
And
might have too.
I don't think JD did.
Oh, JD
Sam
didn't?
definitely did not want to get anywhere close to our van.
Yeah, and in hindsight, I was like, so perspective is, so very short story. I love how this ADHD train's going, and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just keeping it in, but so I was not Christian before I joined Subtlest Sky, and then I joined Subtlest Sky, and then the door was kind of open,
Right.
but I was really on my good boy shit because I was almost kind of feeling like I had to prove myself as like a good Christian.
Because you were new to the band on that tour, weren't you?
Yeah, so I started that tour as a fill-in. I was the touring guitar player because Elliot, who eventually played guitar and still plays guitar in Bless the Fall. Shout out Elliot. I'm gonna try to get him. He said he would be down to fucking hop on the cast sometime.
Oh, yeah.
But he was at school at the time and he was like, I can't tour. And so I started that tour as a fill-in, and then that Yakima, Washington show, he called and quit the band. And so then I officially joined the band on that tour. So I'm
That's
like, I'm especially like, oh shit, now I have the gig officially. I need to keep my shit tight. And
Yeah.
so I was really, really, really like on my good boy stuff. And in hindsight, I'm kind of like, fuck. There was so much fun that of like you guys would just get into, of like even just to sit, nothing like crazy or like
Yeah.
degenerate, just like smoking a little weed and fucking hanging out in the van. Like I'm like, damn, I really wish I could have just like unmasked and been like, all right, you guys, let me get in here real quick.
You would have had our van was an absolute shit show. Like we van moshed, like you put on whatever, and like people would just, I remember at one point I was in the very back of the van and Sanders is driving and we're doing like van mosh, and I jumped and the car in front of us slowed down and Sanders slammed on the brakes and I flew all the way from like the very, very back bunk of the van and like hit my head on the fucking radio all the way at the front of the van. And it was just like the the van was so torn up. Like there was just shit everywhere. You know what I mean? You got so many people living in close proximity and like you're van moshing and shit's flying everywhere. Nobody,
Like
I mean,
just
it was just
being the funniest, silliest boys. And
we had so much fun, man.
And so we play this I'm getting to a certain point because I want to get to the video. So I'm finishing out this part of the run here, and then we'll get to our questions, and we'll kind of like say our goodbyes.
Yes.
But so we play this New Mexico show. I almost get murdered by some hardcore cool guys. Then we play in Las Cruces, New Mexico at
the
that
arcade.
church.
Wait, was it a church or an arcade?
It was a church.
Okay.
And it was at like almost like Mexican looking church.
Yeah.
With Kid Liberty played that show.
I love those guys.
Yeah. And so it was such like a random like Kid Liberty on this bill. Fuck. And that was one of those shows that was rad. I was like, yes, this is fucking sick. And then after
we
that,
played with them in Phoenix too, right?
I think we did.
Yeah.
They might have hopped
the
off
hockey
those
rink.
days. Oh my god. Okay.
That was Phoenix.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, okay. This is not, I'm like having like brain cells forming right now. I'm like, oh my god.
All right, sorry. Go back.
No, I love, but still. So we played New Mexico, and then we make it to Tias. And boy howdy. Texas is a motherfucker.
Texas is rough, dude.
Yeah. But the one glowing light in the state of Texas after we just plowed through driving across that thing. I think we played 2 shows in Texas. Yeah. Which is crazy because you have to drive like a million hours.
Dude, you could play like 30 shows in Texas.
And you could do a whole tour in Texas.
Yeah.
And so, but we played in another innocuous small town, Wichita Falls, Texas. And then that was the infamous, we talked about this on episode 1 with JD, Angry Black Man Productions, at this VFW hall, and there was like 700 kids there, and it was crazy, and all those cars,
insane show.
And it was like, oh my god, yes. And it was like one of those moments where like we were hitting our lowest points of the tour. We're all so broke and tired at this point. We've been eating like shit. I think that just the day before we were so broke, I had like quarters in my pocket. I would buy an orange from a gas station, eat the orange, and then I would be hungry and I would eat the peel for fiber.
Oh no.
To like fill in my stomach. It was that part of the tour. But then we make it to Wichita Falls. And good
we were
Lord.
Like, no way there's going to be people at this place.
Yeah. And there was
chance.
Actually all the people.
Every person. I remember we went to the mall and like tried to flyer for it before because we were like, there's no fucking way.
I forgot about that.
We all went and flyered and like tried to sell CDs, and we were like, dude, there's no way there's going to be people at this shithole. And there was every fucking person. It was so
packed. And we were fed
so much.
And it was that barbecue pulled pork brisket. And I was like, we had all been eating like shit for weeks and like had nothing, and we were starving. And so we got refilled in Wichita Falls. And then I can't remember if this was directly the next show or one of the shows, but it was the end of the run for this particular leg of the tour before we split off and went down to Florida.
Right.
Was it Birmingham? Was this Birmingham, Alabama? I felt like it was Alabama, wasn't it? Actually, hold on. I have the video pulled up right now.
No, the video that was in Arkansas.
Oh my god. No, the last show in Mississippi.
Was it Jackson, Mississippi?
It might have been. I'm at this video in question.
Oh, good Lord. Do I have to watch?
So I'm going to set the stage, and then I'm going to share some media. Hold on, I don't want it to play yet. Don't play. Okay. So we end up in Mississippi, and this part of my memory is foggy, so you might be able to remember some bit better. I remember we had a hard time finding this place.
Yes.
Because it was quite literally a hole in a wall.
And literally, I don't know that it was legally open.
So the things that I love about punk rock, the things that I do genuinely love is this insane spirit to just go shows anywhere. Do you have a PA? We will set up anywhere and we will play a show that somehow still has electricity.
Yeah.
So we get booked on this gig, and it's in this, what I would call a haunted, abandoned shopping plaza in Jackson, Mississippi. And it was these local kids who were trying to turn this spot into a local venue, I think, was sort of the angle.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, that was a crack house.
100%. Somebody, so dude, I don't know if you know this or not, but somebody got shot at that venue the night before we played there, like in the parking lot.
I did not know this.
Yeah,
what?
So somebody got shot the night before we played that show in that parking lot.
So I'm glad almost 20 years later that I am learning that, that was an added layer. So this kind of paints the scene here.
Yeah, definitely a crack house.
This is a crack house. And literally in this video I'm about to pull up, you get to witness one of the most startling moments was when we were kind of exploring this venue, and it is a loose term. There was homeless people living in the back.
Yeah.
And they did not know that a show was happening. And much to our surprise, a few of these folks decided to just start wandering out, come hang out with us. And so in reminiscing and kind of catching up with John here, I went on the YouTubes. It was actually after you sent me the infamous video that we will not play.
Yeah.
On this,
unfortunately,
episodes. We maybe at some point we can do that. Maybe if I make a Patreon and we'll put it behind a paywall.
Yeah, put that shit behind a paywall, dude.
Yeah.
Tell Mike to take it down.
Oh, there you go. All right. That's actually not a bad idea. So it made me go, there was a couple other videos from this tour I wanted to find, and I found this one. So again, technology is not my friend, but we're going to attempt to share some media here. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if this loads. Okay.
It's anything like the luck we were having earlier.
Oh. No, dude, we're going to. Okay.
Oh, no. Hey, it's us.
Hey, it's us. All right, add to stage here. There we go. All right.
Oh my God, dude. Was this when we rushed to the stage and got on stage with you guys?
Oh, just you wait. Yes.
Oh my God.
All right, let me full screen this.
Holy shit.
And I'll actually pause this real quick. No sound. Well, hold on. Before I do this, we had this issue before. And I'm going to see if I can fix that real quick. We're doing this live, folks. All right. Let's.
The fact that this video exists blows my mind.
Oh, yeah. Why am I not getting sound out of this? That is why I want to understand. Well, at least I know where I am as far as the mark. Oh, there we go. Okay. Layouts, audio. Okay. Well, I'm going to. We're not going to have sound again on this, but it's really the visuals here. So before I play the video here, there was a fun little thing we like to do on tours, which is like these tour pranks. And your guys' prank on us was the touring package decided to make a guest appearance during our introduction here. And we'll just kind of like commentate it, like,
Yeah. Right now, you guys are
our
praying
John,
and not realizing.
yeah, yes. So, and look at you in
Back
that
with
red
track
jacket.
jacket. Track jackets
hmm
were cool, dude.
So we're doing our little, in hindsight, very performative before set prayer. And
How
we
many
had some
people were
people
there?
who did come to this crack house.
There were
And
7.
surprise, the whole tour package. And
Dude, there's way more people there than I remembered being there.
yeah, there was like 10, but most of the touring
That.
package is also outside there too.
Oh my gosh.
And
We've
then
got a China
everybody,
symbol. Oh my lord. Oh, the big inward scream.
yeah. And at this point, JD is inhaling his pig squeal, and we do our intro breakdown, and everybody's doing it with us. Dude, what a magical moment, honestly.
Look at all of those headbangs, dude. It was like we practiced that.
And right here, that was one of the homeless people.
Yeah, he's afraid for his life, dude.
I'm pretty sure his name was Ducky.
Fitting. It tracked for sure.
Man,
This
I
is
am
insane.
I am there with you. I did not remember this many people actually being there, and that is a stretch, obviously, because there's like 5 people moshing.
Yeah.
But I thought there was just us.
And then look at the professional camera work here.
Oh yeah.
This is
Now
the good stuff.
there you go. And then actually, if I remember this correctly, I think Stoney comes up and looks at Fusco because Fusco is filming this. Look at Sam playing drums. He turns around. I know. Well, maybe if people start donating to the Cashapp or Venmo,
Yeah, there you go.
and donate to the channel, we can up our technology here. Now here's some moshing.
Oh my heavens.
Okay, no, it's Fusco. Fusco's going, hey, no.
You got
The
the
thing's
camera
covering the
cover
lens.
on, dude.
Get that shit out of here. All right, now here we go. Now this is what I wanted to see. Well, obviously Sam, but at some point it's going to pivot back to the pit, and it's going to show you. And there's me right there. Come on, show me some John Mosh. Stoney, what are you doing?
Dude, these guys from New York hand them a camera and they think they're a freaking
hand him a camera. This is so rad. Okay, here we go. All right, John in the red jacket.
Oh god. Get the 2-step going.
He's getting it. Oh, there you go. Show these kids how it's fucking done.
Ernie comes flying through here at some point.
No, so it makes sense that there's me with my white belt.
The white belt was a must. There's Ernie.
There he is. Oh yeah. He's an OG New York hardcore
Yeah
guy. And so he would regulate the pit every night. But all right, so I won't play this any further, but that sort of sets the scene here of this was the crack house that we were dealing with.
It's insane.
And
I'm so glad that video exists on the internet.
Oh, it's still on there. It's actually on Fusco's YouTube channel.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so thank God there's some video evidence of just that crack house and you moshing, and then you guys being.
I'm holding the grudge against Austin McCauley, and I'm going to call him out right now.
Oh shit!
He has in his, or probably not anymore, but had for years and years and years, camera footage of that entire tour. that he
Oh, really?
promised he would send me. They're on mini DV tape, and I have a converter to convert them to digital. So, Austin, if you want to, you know, pay up on those videotapes, we
Please,
could
dude.
we could open the biggest time capsule in the world.
Dude, if you can, I will message him right now.
He's not gonna do it. It's all right. Tim's got his grandpa's drum throne anyway, so we could probably
Okay.
work out like a hostage negotiation.
Hell yeah. But damn, dude, no, that's I
Yeah,
am glad of all the moments on that tour that got filmed
yeah,
was a really kind of almost like a very appropriate video
yeah,
where it showed the camaraderie that we had developed
yeah,
on this tour where, at the end of the day, just some silly boys and some gals. I
yeah,
forgot there we had some gals with us on this at that tour too, and everybody was having fun. We made the best of it. It was some fucking insane, not so great times,
right.
but that fun little prank in some crack house in Mississippi. Everybody's moshing and headbanging with us. Like that was the last footnote
Yeah,
I remember of John Copeland. Was that because after that point we split off
yep,
and we went down to Florida, and then what I've learned tonight is after that tour you guys were like, all right, we're done.
yeah. I mean, we went back to Panama City and just kind of kicked it and thought about next steps. And Bobby stayed in Panama City. I stayed up there for I don't know a couple months, something like that, and then went back down to Ocala and started gigging again. And the rest is history, dude. Now we're up in Jacksonville,
All
living
right,
and just hanging out, man.
with that Jaguar squad looking pretty good.
Looking pretty damn good, dude. I was gonna put on my Maurice Jones-Drew jersey, but I didn't.
Well, my Cincinnati Bengals are dog shit this year, so we are stress relieved.
Yeah,
uh we did
go Joe
catch a
Burrow.
win against you guys this year, so that's great.
That's all right.
um
With your
but
backup quarterback.
who turned out to be an absolute shitter.
Big shitter, dude.
But we are at an hour 46, and
Yeah,
so uh typically with this podcast we base it around 3 questions, but with this episode obviously it really needed to be some storytelling.
right.
It needed to be some catching up because I miss this dude and I love this dude with my whole heart. Because when you're living in vans together for a month and a half, you know peeing in bottles, seeing
Yes,
each other's wieners,
absolutely.
you grow a bond.
Yeah.
But I do want to kind of end this episode, and you can go as long as you want on these answers. We still have obviously no time constraint, but I it, I always preface with that you're comfortable talking about.
Okay.
Question number one is, of this time, typically it was with the Christian, like metalcore, just the Christian
Mhm.
industry, but this could be your time in leading worship before or after, or this could honestly be just gigs with Paddock Park. It could be anything in the middle of all of this. Give me your worst experience in your little career path that you're willing to share. What was the worst experience that you had? You're like your lowest point.
I think really finding out the business side of both industries,
Really?
finding out the business side of the church as a whole,
Mhm.
and really like that's what kind of turned me off about the whole church thing. I'm not saying that I don't believe, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying that the business of religion is very eye-opening when you see what the inner workings of the offices and back rooms of these mega churches
and see where that money, especially, I love that you emphasize that it's the mega churches.
Yeah.
Because my church experience is I live in a town that, population 1,200, got a graduating class of 65 people.
Right.
So I never got to see mega churches like you're talking about, but I've only heard the how the sausage is made there. Like,
Yeah. It's
so
that's that's a whole that's a movie, dude. Like
that's
that's a
a
whole
that's a whole
we're not
movie.
gonna get into all that, but you ask my, you know, the
Yeah,
lowest of lows is like I said, finding out, the inner workings of all of that and how much of a business instead of a relationship it is. You know what I mean?
yeah, and
And
that's devastating,
no,
especially when
not
you're so
nothing
young.
against anybody who does the mega church thing or does the small church thing or anything like that. I
Right,
respect everybody's opinions and respect everybody's choices when it comes to faith, no faith,
unless they're wrong.
relationship. No, yeah,
Yes,
unless they're wrong for sure.
yeah,
Um, but no, I mean just that, and then also at the same token, the business side of just being a creative dude that happens to know how to play a guitar.
yeah,
It it becomes this thing where the music comes second to business, and it's not what gets you into it.
right.
It's you got shout out Alex Kenny telling me I can't wear shorts on stage, or just like you've got to like have this image, you've got to wear fucking tight pants, you've got to wear slip-on shoes, you got to wear a black t-shirt with a deep fucking v-neck,
He,
you
oh my God, he gave you guys the same speech.
you know what I mean. It's like that was never me, bro. Like I'm flip-flops till I die, man.
Yeah,
Like
you're
just
beach hanging, man.
it was just like I like heavy music and I like to play breakdowns and get people to dance, but do I have to do it in skinny jeans? Like Parkway Drive's allowed to do it. Why can't I? You know what I mean? It's
Right,
like-
damn it. They're a fucking
but,
carry on, dude. Come
but
on.
it was just like, you got to do this. You got to go to this fucking signing at FYE that nobody's going to go to. You got to like just, it takes away from the love of the game. You know what I mean? It's like you love playing music, you love writing songs, you love watching people, get entranced with what you're doing on stage or
Yeah, dude.
anything like that. Like the reason that you want to be a musician, all of that shit gets thrown out the window as soon as you sign that contract saying that they'll release your CD on their label. And it, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful that I went through it. I'm thankful that I got to, meet all the people that I did and play the places that I did and get to visit the places that I did and do it with who I did it with. But it's just, it's like anything. Once it turns into a job, you're slaving for the man. It's like it takes all the love out of it. It takes the enjoyment. It takes the artistry. It takes the humanity out of it.
Yeah, because it kind
You,
of puts in your head like
it's the
shit.
fucking machine, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's literally like people talk about it's the machine. Like fucking go to shows, put out music, put money in the envelope for people that aren't you. Like do what we tell you to do. Be at this fucking place when you got to be there. Like it's just never. Hey, how are the new songs coming? Are you
yeah.
enjoying writing music? Are you having fun? No, fuck any of that. Like
It's like
it
just
doesn't
this.
matter.
Come on, give me
Yeah,
more,
put
more,
your
more,
tight
more.
pants on and get on stage and get off in 8 minutes so the next
Dude,
band can do it.
I bummed Alex out so hard. I do appreciate Alex, and I
I
do I
I
love
appreciate
him.
everything that Alex did for that
Yeah,
band.
but I made that guy so bummed because he came to one of our shows in Florida, and I wore a cut off sleeveless flannel and no shirt under it, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Never wear that again."
That's about the what happened when we played one in South Florida and I had shorts on and he basically was like, "Do I need to go buy you some fucking jeans?"
Be an adult.
Damn, dude.
That's what he said to me. He's like, just dress like an
I'm
adult.
just a kid with a fucking black Schecter guitar, dude. Like that's all I got.
Like, come on, man.
Yep, those are the downfalls of
I'm Paul
my
of it.
musical career,
All
man.
right, but let's hit you with number two.
Okay.
What was the best? What's the best memory you got?
Best memory I have.
What was the mountaintop?
I don't know, man. It's as far as music is concerned, I would say, dude, it's tough to pick. There's been so many, great relationships that I've built through a freaking guitar. I think that that would probably have to be at no one certain moment, no one show, no one thing, just the network and relationships that I've built that will be there till the end. You know what I mean? It's just
No, that's
can't take
more
the
than valid,
memories.
dude.
Yeah, can't take the memories, can't take the relationships that were built. That's
Yeah.
that's it,
It,
man. That's what it's all about.
it's like I mentioned earlier. It was like especially our little tour, our little ragtag that we had,
Hmm.
and going through what we did together. Like those are the relationships that you cultivate where you could never see this person for 20 plus years. But the second you see them again, you instantly just like, oh, that connection runs so deep.
Yep, exactly.
So hell yeah. Well then that's again more than a valid answer because that's impactful.
Yeah.
You know, makes me a little emotional when I think back on it, honestly. And then, but question number three, and this will be our ender, of just when you think back on the machine and the darkness and and then, but also the great relationships that you cultivated and the networking and the experiences. Now at 35, looking back on it, this is where I get real therapy guy on the podcast. How do you feel about it? Oh, the whole thing as you're kind of like moving into the next phase of your life, heading towards 40. Like when you think of this time, how do you feel?
Conflicted.
Okay.
Conflicted.
Elaborate if you want, if you can.
I can. I just feel like, the way that, everything went from the way the band started to the way the band ended. I just wish that, some of the negative things that happened and some of the negative relationships that I, inherited from
Right.
my career.
Mhm.
Um, I just wish that those things maybe didn't happen, or maybe that those things got squashed a little bit differently. But, you know, those personalities just don't mesh. And I think that I think that that's just the way it'll forever stay. Um,
Gotcha.
and that's fine, I don't want to get into that. And I'm sure, like, if there is anybody watching this that they're like, son of a bitch, I watched 2 hours and didn't hear one mention of it.
One shit
Sorry,
talk.
not
Sorry.
gonna happen. I refuse. I'm grown,
Well,
but
here's the thing with that though, is like, especially at this point in that being so long ago,
yeah,
it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, at this point, if you don't know, then it's kind of a moot point.
exactly. And I will say this, that I have absolutely zero ill will towards anybody that I ever worked with
I love that.
in that career path. Um, Things don't work out in business, things don't work out in people's personal lives, and that's just the way that the world works. And I'm thankful for meeting those people, and thankful, for the good times that we shared, minimal as they may have been. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it's it doesn't make me lose any sleep at night. But it's just, you take such a good thing that just like perfect timing for that band, the perfect timing for all of that. Um, and you leave with negatives that should have never ever been a thing. And I would have loved for there to been a sophomore album for that. And
Oh yeah,
I hear through the grapevine that there may be, but just none of the people that are involved in
right.
it. Like
but
literally zero of
but
them.
but the song, but the
So whatever,
songs, but the
whatever.
songs, the
But
songs are
there,
still happening.
right, and that's fine. But there will be some things coming out from the people that you do know, and I'm on Austin's ass right now. I've, sent him some stuff a couple days back. I got a couple. I'll send you some after we're done so you can check it out.
Yes, yes.
I've got about 3 or 4 like ready for some vocals on, and some other stuff in the chamber right this second. So maybe those albums will come out at similar times. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Yeah. Well, I love that because that you just hit a real awesome spectrum here because I love how that was a very real answer
Hmm.
was saying conflicted because it's more complicated than being able to go past the past, man.
Yeah.
Because I wish it was that easy because, especially I don't know if you feel this, and this is just me being absolutely honest, is one of the things I struggle with nostalgia
Hmm.
is when you are trying to make peace with these things and you're trying to be like, oh man, it is what it is, sort of thing. You can't help but feel the feelings of all those moments that you ran into where you're just like, we just would have fucking zigged and we zagged.
Yeah.
If it would have just went this way, just a little bit like this rather than
Yeah.
this.
See, but there's not that with that band. Like there were
Right.
so many moving pieces of things that just it wasn't gonna be a forever thing. It
Right.
wasn't. And it was
Kind of
that's
already
why I
doomed
was
from the
like
start,
so
sort of
fine
thing.
with like, this is it. I got to do what I did. I got to do it with the people that I did it with, and that was fine. Sometimes it's just time to put the baby to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where that story ended, man. And it was those relationships didn't go anywhere. Um, Austin is doing his thing and absolutely freaking crushing it.
And fucking limbs.
Oh my god, isn't he the freaking best? He's so fucking good, dude. He's so
And
good.
and so that's why and I could say the same thing about you too. Like it's like I started this episode saying that you're one of those frustrating people. And I say that in the best way possible, where like every instrument you pick up, everything that you just naturally do, you just like have that natural instinct of just being like, yeah, I know, I get it. Because you
Yeah.
speak the language already, so you just
Yeah.
pick up you fiddle on a piano, you pick up a guitar, you get behind a kit, you can feel your way through it, and I love and I've always respected that about you. But
I
Austin as
appreciate that,
well,
man.
Austin, that motherfucker,
And I'm so glad that like I send him something and he's like, "That's fucking sick. I'm gonna put vocals on
I
it."
was
Like
sang on it.
that's just like one of those, like I said, those relationships that never go anywhere, man. And
And
I
he
haven't
sings
seen
like an
Austin.
angel.
I haven't seen Austin in years. I think me and Tim went and saw him in either Orlando or Tampa a couple years back when they played a show, and we went and saw each other, and it was just like you said,
Instant.
instant. But I mean, like, you know, it's just the way it is, man. You spend so much time with somebody in close quarters like that, like that doesn't go away. But I'm glad that he's killing it. You're killing it. I love the podcast. I love what you've got going on with your band. The Holy Ghost shit is freaking sweet. I love it.
Hey,
I
dude.
love that you're still doing your thing. I love that you told me that some other writing is going on.
Yes.
And I'm stoked to hear that shit. You already know.
Set of the Sky put out an EP in 2021,
Hmm.
and it's one of those things where like uh we've found a formula that works for our lives again.
Right.
Where it's like there's no pressure here, man. There's no there's no deadlines, and we're not going to force. Let's get another EP out. So we're doing some low key writing right now, really because Dan just got the itch, and he was like, "Oh, let's just get together again sometime." I don't know.
Good for y'all, man.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's some throwback shit, but it's going to be current shit, but from the good old boys.
Yeah, from the good old boys, man.
Well, yeah. Well, I love that. We are at 2:04. Dude, John, love you, buddy. I appreciate you. And we did it despite the StreamYard gods.
That's right, dude.
Fucking trying to bring us down. We made it. Thank you again. I think next week is obviously the holidays, so we're taking a little bit of a break. If I'm feeling a little froggy, I'll probably do a solo cast or just a solo stream and hangout. But the following week after that, I'll be making some more announcements of the upcoming schedule. But this has been Core Confessionals. I appreciate you all who will be listening and tuning into this. That being said, later.
Later, bro.